Hi, this is Joanna and welcome to another video. Today I'm starting out with a watercolor paper and I'm using the smooth side. And I'm using my T-square ruler and a pen to draw some lines because I'm going to do some stamping and I'm going to do a number of balloons and I want to fit the correct number of balloons on, so that's why I'm measuring it. And I love my T-square ruler, I use it all the time, I think it's one of my favorite tools. And here I'm using some post-it tape and I'm stamping my balloon on there because I'm going to create a mask later on. But first I'm just scribbling on some balloon shapes so I know roughly where to stamp them. And I'm using Versafine ink to stamp my balloons because I'm going to do some watercolor later and this is my favorite ink when I do watercolor. And then I cut out my mask and I'm going to use both pieces. I'm going to use the balloon shape and also the negative piece. And now it's time to stamp all of my balloons. So I just use my mask and then I just move it and I just keep on stamping. Until I have all 8 of them. And just to make sure that the ink doesn't smear, I just dry the ink with my heat tool and then I use an eraser to erase the pencil lines. And now it's time to stamp my letters, and I'm using an alphabet stamp set from Fawn that is called Quinn's Capital ABC. And if you're interested in any of the supplies that I used in this video, they are listed in the YouTube description box down below or over at my blog, and you will find that address in the YouTube description as well. So I'm just keep adding my letters here on my balloons. And I think this is a really cute look. I think it looks whimsical and fun, and yeah, who doesn't love balloons, right? And here I stamped the last letter, and I just heat set it. And I'm known to be a clumsy crafter, so I smeared some ink, of course, on this card as well. So I'm using my craft knife to scrape off the black ink, and then I just use an eraser to smooth out the cardstock. And now it's time to add the little strings to the balloons, and the strings are from the same stamp set from Fawn as the balloons are from. And I stamp them in Versamark ink as well. And one of the strings didn't stamp very well, so I'm just using an waterproof pencil to color in the string. And then I just use my heat tool to dry the ink. And now it's time to do some watercolor, and I'm using some watercolor pencils, and I have had these watercolor pencils for ages. They are from Derwent and I really like them, and I'm using them two ways. I'm adding my color directly onto the paper, and then I'm getting the watercolor look by adding some water with a watercolor brush. And in the end you will see that I also bring over my watercolor brush directly onto the tip of the pencil to transfer some pigment to create an even deeper shadow. But I have sped up this portion quite a bit, so I won't get bored, and I will let you guys listen to some music, and I will pick up the voiceover afterwards. time to stamp my sentiment, and I'm using this stamp set from Simon Says Stamp, and it's called Handwritten Borders, and I love this set. I think it's gorgeous, and I think this coordinates perfect with my card as well. So I'm using Versafine ink to ink up my stamp. And when I created the background, I used quite a bit of water, so it's a little bit warped. So just to make sure that I get a straight impression when I'm stamping, I use some washi tape to tape it down to my work surface. And then I just use a gray watercolor pen to add just a little bit of shadow to the letters. And then I adhere everything onto a black piece of cardstock. And then I adhere it to my card base. And my card base is, as usual, Neenah Soul White. And I couldn't resist using my wink of Stella. So I just added some shimmer to my balloons to finish everything off. And then the card is done. So I hope that you like this video, and thank you guys so much for spending some time with me, and thank you so much for all your comments and your thumb up and subscriptions. I really appreciate it. Take care. Bye.